Remember when a 20-hour game felt like a marathon? Nowadays, 100-hour games are practically the ISO standard, especially with all those open worlds and overflowing side quests. But let's be real, not everyone can dedicate their entire life to just one game. Sometimes you just want to sit down, play, and finish. No all-nighters, no sacrificing your social life. For those of you who want a compact, exciting, and time-friendly gaming experience, here are 10 awesome games you can beat in just one weekend. Let's dive right in.
This is gonna be weirder than usual.
Imagine working in an office, but your office keeps changing shape and your coworkers are possessed by energy from another dimension. That's not a nightmare, that's control. This is Remedy's super stylish, supernatural third-person shooter. You play as Jessie Faden, a mysterious woman who suddenly becomes the director of the Federal Bureau of Control, the most absurd organization on Earth. Their office can shift like a Rubik's Cube, and it's filled with possessed people who can literally throw walls at you. The gameplay is fast, satisfying, and full of flair. You can shoot while lifting tables with telekinesis, throw refrigerator-sized rocks, or even float around. The combination of superpowers and weapons makes every battle feel incredibly intense. Visually, this is one of Remedy's most daring artistic directions. But what truly hooks you is the atmosphere. It's surreal, oppressive, yet so intriguing, like stepping into a David Lynch film. You can finish it in about 12 hours if you stick to the main story. But if you want to explore and dig into the lore, it might take you around 18 to 20 hours of pure, memorable action. If you're looking for a brutal and artistic mind-bender, Control is a mind-blowing weekend trip that might make you suspicious of your own office.
In this nightmare, I write to escape.
Still from Remedy, but this time we're not talking about weird offices. We're talking about a self-aware nightmare. Alan Wake 2 is a slow burn game that gradually pulls you into the darkness. Here, you play as two characters. First, there's Alan, a writer trapped in the dark place, a surreal world full of symbols and whispering voices. Then there's Saga, an FBI agent trying to figure out why all these strange things are starting to appear in the real world. And trust me, both of them are chilling, but in different ways. While Alan offers an existential horror, Saga gives you a detective thriller that never feels safe. The atmosphere is dark, dense, and suffocating. There are no cheap jump scares, but the ambient music, absurd visuals, and slow but terrifying pacing are like walking alone in a forest before dawn. You know there's nothing there, but you still feel watched. Combat is simpler compared to Control. You have a flashlight, limited ammo, and stubborn enemies. This is survival horror, not a game for Rambo. But what makes Alan Wake 2 special is its storytelling. You'll find movie-quality cutscenes, premium voice acting, and plot twists that will leave you staring at your ceiling at 2 a.m. wondering what just happened. It takes around 18 to 20 hours to finish, which is perfect for an intense and thought-provoking weekend. For those who love psychological horror, mind-bending stories, and dark film festival vibes, Alan Wake 2 isn't just a game, it's a soul-searching journey.
それで、今回の指令はあなた好みの単純な力仕事です。
Yakuza games are usually like an entire anime season, full of drama and absurd side quests at every turn. But like a Dragon Gaiden is different. This is like a mini spin-off for those who want the Yakuza experience without taking a leave of absence from work. You play as Kazuma Kiryu, who's retired but somehow gets dragged back into the criminal underworld. The title itself sounds like a 90s Japanese V-cinema movie, The Man Who Erased His Name. And true enough, it's full of mystery and midlife crisis vibes. Combat is still solid, with two fighting styles. The classic heavy fist-pumping Yakuza style and the agent style, which is brutal but absurd. Kiryu can use an electric rope to pull enemies like an elegant scorpion. And don't worry, the absurdity of Like a Dragon is still alive. From karaoke to arcade games to helping out bodyguard services. Because hey, being a mafia boss doesn't mean you can't multitask. Completion time is perfect, around 15 to 18 hours, depending on whether you're a grinder or straight to the point. If you miss that emotional Yakuza beat-em-up action but can't commit to 100 hours, like a Dragon Gaiden is like watching an intense, compact, and chaotic season.
Under the wide and starry sky.
In a world full of blood and rats, literally, a AA game that feels like a AAA heartbreaker. Its name is A Plague Tale: Requiem. You play as Amicia and her little brother Hugo, two kids who just want to live peacefully in a brutal medieval age. But instead, they have to flee from corrupt church guards and a sea of rats that can swallow an entire town like a furry tsunami. Gameplay is stealth-based. You hide, distract, shoot sling projectiles from the shadows, and sometimes, if forced, you go on a rampage. But the main focus isn't on combat, it's on the character relationships. And that's what makes this game special. The sibling bond here isn't just a gimmick. The voice acting is sincere, their facial expressions are real, and the dialogue is emotional without being melodramatic. Just one moment is enough to make you think, okay, I need to protect Hugo like he's my own little brother. Visually, this game is stunning. From damp swamps to crumbling castles bathed in evening light, everything is cinematically arranged like watching a dark historical film. Completion time is around 18 to 20 hours with a clean pace and almost no filler. Perfect for an intense but not rushed weekend. If you're looking for a game that'll make your heart race, make you sad, and leave you awestruck by beautiful scenery, A Plague Tale: Requiem isn't just a recommendation. It's an emotional experience you absolutely have to try.
How does it feel, Wayne, to stand on the very stones that ran?
You want to be a superhero but don't have 100 hours to patrol Gotham? Batman Arkham City is the answer. One of the best superhero games of all time, and you can finish it in just a weekend. Here, you truly feel like Batman, soaring through the air, gliding from one building to another, and delivering slow but painful punches to all the iconic villains. Joker, Two-Face, Penguin, Mr. Freeze, they're all here, complete with their own stories and side missions. Combat is still the industry standard. One button to attack, one button to counter, and the rest is just enjoying the combo animations that look like action movie choreography. It's fluid, satisfying, and every move feels heavy and precise. The story is no slouch either. There's mystery, betrayal, and a plot twist at the end that fans still talk about. The voice acting is Oscar-worthy. Mark Hamill as Joker and Kevin Conroy as Batman, two legends who elevate this narrative to a cinematic level. Completion time is just right, 17 to 20 hours for the main story and some side missions, without needing to be a completionist. If you want a dense, cool superhero game that doesn't eat up your life, Batman Arkham City is like a bat signal on a Saturday night. So, will you answer the call?
Finally ready to join us.
You want to be Spider-Man but don't have time to be a full-time hero? Marvel's Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac is the answer. A modern superhero game that feels like a blockbuster, but you can finish it in one weekend. Here, you play as two Spider-Man at once, Peter Parker and Miles Morales, each with their own fighting styles and unique powers. Combat is fast, fluid, and stylish, and web-slinging is still the most satisfying mechanic in any open-world game. The main story also steps up from the previous series. You'll encounter craving, venom, and personal conflicts that are far more mature than the first game without losing Spider-Man's signature humor. The open world is vast but not overwhelming. Side quests have enough variety that they don't feel like chores, and exploration is rewarding. You can complete the main story in 18 to 20 hours, and it feels complete without having to chase checklists. If you're looking for a cool, dense superhero game that won't cause burnout, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is the answer. Perfect for those who want to be a hero without sacrificing their weekend for a platinum trophy.
From today forward, your lives will be forever changed.
Imagine GTA but in the middle of bustling Hong Kong, and you're not a ruthless gangster. You're an undercover cop who has to infiltrate the triads. Sleeping Dogs is an underrated open-world game that offers brutal action wrapped in heavy drama. You play as Wei Shin, a cop who goes undercover in a criminal organization to bring them down from the inside. The story is dark, full of twists, and spiced with internal conflicts that will make you wonder if he's still a cop. Combat is like the Arkham City system, but with added knee kicks to the head. Hand-to-hand combat is brutal. The counter system is satisfying and the animations are smooth. Plus, there are other activities like car chases, shootouts, and even eating street noodles to heal yourself during missions. Completion time is around 15 to 20 hours and there are almost no empty moments. Even though the game is underrated and a bit old, the visuals still hold up. And the soundtrack is strong, adding to the immersive East Asian vibe. If you're looking for a unique open-world action game, Sleeping Dogs is the definition of a hidden gem that you deserve to explore. Because sometimes going undercover can be more deadly than being a villain. Lightsabers, alien planets, bounty hunters, and an increasingly deep story. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is like a Star Wars toy set, but you're holding the lightsaber. And the good news is, you can finish this game in 20 hours without having to move to a galaxy far, far away. Combat is smoother. The lightsaber feels more impactful and movement is more flexible. You'll jump between planets, unlock shortcuts, and fight classic Star Wars enemies, from droids to cool armored bounty hunters. What makes this one different is the narrative. Cal Kestis matures as a protagonist. He's not just a confused Padawan anymore, he's a hero who knows his purpose. Supporting characters also get more spotlight, and the world just feels alive. If you're an explorer, your playtime could easily stretch to over 40 hours. But for weekend gamers, the main story is dense and satisfying enough to finish in 2 relaxed days of playing. For those who love Star Wars or want a cinematic action adventure that doesn't eat up a whole month, Jedi Survivor is a cool, complete escape that feels like an interactive movie.
Fear the heretics at our door, even with their iron steeds standing before us.
Most post-apocalyptic shooters stick you in narrow corridors or rely on jump scares. But Metro Exodus takes you out into a ruined world that still holds hope. You play as Artyom, a Spartan ranger who bravely leaves the ruins of Moscow to find a new home with his community. And you're not walking, you're riding a massive train through a destroyed Russia, from one region to another. Each zone has its own character. There are snowy areas, swamps, and even deserts. You can explore a semi-open world, but it's always accompanied by cinematic, intense moments. Gameplay is a first-person shooter with survival elements. You have to manage ammo, craft, turn on gas filters, and every enemy can be a threat, whether they're humans, mutants, or the atmosphere itself. But that's where the beauty lies. The main story playtime is around 18 to 20 hours. Perfect for those who want to enjoy the story but don't want to grind excessively. You might pop into side missions occasionally, but the main pacing remains tight and focused. If you want a shooter that's not just about shooting, but also about survival and finding the meaning of home, Metro Exodus is a dark journey worth taking.
The first thing you must do is build a new car.
Here she lies, a magnum opus.
You want an open world full of sand, gasoline, and chaos. Mad Max gives you all that, plus a car that can be a weapon of mass destruction. You play as Max, a wanderer in a brutal, bloodthirsty post-apocalyptic world ruled by combat vehicles. This isn't a slow stealth game. This is an explosive game set in the middle of a desert storm. Gameplay combines brutal hand-to-hand combat, explosive car combat, and vehicle upgrades that truly feel like progress. You'll take your car from a rusty wreck to an armored tank with a harpoon launcher to tear down enemy strongholds. Visually, this game has a distinct style. Desaturated skies, red sand, and never clean surroundings. The world isn't as dense as other open-world games, and that's actually a strength. You can focus on the main story and some stronghold missions without being overwhelmed by confusing map icons. Completion time is around 18 to 20 hours, perfect for experiencing the Mad Max world's atmosphere without burning out. If you're looking for a rough, fast, explosive, and straightforward game, Mad Max is a desert surprise you might have missed all this time. And there you have it, 10 awesome games you can beat in just one weekend. Because not every game has to be 100 hours and sacrifice your social life. Sometimes the shorter ones are more focused, more emotional, and more impactful. Do you have any other short game recommendations you love? Let us know in the comments.